Level by Level Gaming, and as you can see from my layout here, today is going to be the day that I tackle sound with this arcade rebuild. I pulled all the original stuff out of this housing to inspect it, set it off to the side, and this is the original bracket for it here. This is a marquee window that they had that would display a advertisement for ABC video game or arcade company. It had intelligent design or intelligent something in there. I can't remember exactly. I pulled all that out. I have to go back in the video and look. That's gone. I need to clean this up. On the inside it really doesn't matter, but I'm going to clean it up just to make me happy. Clean this window out and take care of this bracket, make that look good. Especially consider I'm going to put Level by Level Gaming and advertisement in this window here. Now here are the original speakers. Right here is an example of what I pulled out of this machine. These 8 ohm speakers, and as you can see, they are a no-go. The fabric has completely worn out along the edges here. When I got this cabinet, I first cut it on, powered everything up, and looked through everything. I didn't get sound. I didn't go into super detail in tracking down why. I'm sure that these would still produce a sound, but it would have that rattly, raspy sound of these things being broken here. I didn't track down a whole lot with it. I figured that would come later. So this is clearly a no-go with these old speakers. I had these, I believe they are either RCA or Fisher. I guess you could look up this information on the back here and it would tell you what it is. But they are 8 ohm speakers as well. And I had these, if you ever saw my storage or my garage, the shop that I have going on here that I'm working on this, I have stacks and stacks of old stuff. Don't throw away anything, especially when it comes to electronics. And this was in there. As you can see, they are in great shape. There's no rust. All this material is intact and it seems strong. Like I said, they're 8 ohms, so they match. And this is a bracket that I had bundled in the box with these that I had saved from whatever housing I pulled these out of. And that is really good for me because when I was looking for some speakers that I had around, weighing back and forth my options, should I just go ahead and go online and order an exact replacement for this? Should I use something I already have laying around that's in good shape, as long as it's the 8 ohm range? I'm going to try this first. And with this bracket, as you can see, these are 2 different sizes, and the holes for the mounts here are completely different. This will not just straight bolt up to that. That would have been great, but that is not what happened. So what I'm going to have to do is come up with a way to mount this bracket onto here. I'm going to save these studs just in case worst comes to worst. I have to spend some money. I'm trying to save as much money, not for me, but for Michael's Marvels, the shop that this is going into. These, I mean, I had these laying around, so it's not like I'm going to charge him an arm and a leg or anything. Or do I go online and order a brand new set that matches and tack that onto the parts price? So I'm going to try to go with these before I go through all that, and this bracket hopefully will allow me to do that, do it successfully and in a way that's durable and will last. Also, I hope to achieve a deeper bass sound from these speakers, which to me is more desirable whenever you're blowing stuff up, shooting stuff, and you get that rumble from, hopefully from these speakers than what was provided originally from these, and also if I just directly replaced these smaller speakers, hoping the quality on the bass or the deeper sounds will come from this. So that's where we are with sound. The next section is going to be once I get this bracket figured out and get this mounted in, and I fire this thing up with sound, and I'm going to add that or splice that into this video, so stay tuned. Alright, as you can see, I have my first part of this bracket system mounted in. I've run out of daylight, so I don't know what you can see and what you can't here. Anyways, around this part right here, if you remember, there were some studs that were coming up that were part of this bracket here. I have them, this plastic pressed down onto those studs, and that alone by itself, I had to literally pry it with a screwdriver as if it was glued or attached in here, just by the physical force of pressing this hard rigid plastic down on those studs. I felt like that could have held it, but I did go in here, and there's no way you can possibly see that. Oh, maybe right there you can. I did go in here with a bead of hot glue, and I put them down, tested them, peeled it back up with a screwdriver, put down a thick bead of adhesive, and then pressed it down on those studs. And trust me, this thing is on there very, very tight. So I have these speakers mounted in here. It's not going to go anywhere. And now I just have to go in here on these edges of this case and take out just a small amount of material. I cut some of the plastic off of the material here, equal with this metal, so it was coming out way out here like this. So I used a Dremel tool and shaved off as much of this material as I could, and I'm going to be mounting this bracket into that spot. But for now, let's see if we can't just kind of prop this thing up and get a little bit of sound going. Let's see what we can do. All right. Let me adjust my light here. All right. Alright, so we do have some sound. I am going to have to do some adjustments to it. Let me see if I can set these just straight down on here so you can actually maybe hear it a little bit. I know my video quality is actually very terrible right now, and I do have it on a lower volume. That is where having a remote to this LCD screen actually comes in pretty darn handy. So I can take this up to 40. Let's see. I missed every one of those ghosts. All right. So that is just some sound. Let's try a different game here. Alright, let's get blown up. Alright, now the last part of this video should be once I get it mounted into the housing and finished up. Alright, here we are. I have the speakers mounted in the bracket and I have them in the case. So it's day 2, I guess you could say, of the whole process. In here I did have to, because the speakers come down and around like this, I did have to saw out some material along these edges so this would slide in there, but the speakers are in and everything is mounted. I've got my little window here with my logo for people when they enjoy this arcade. They can come and join the LBL family, and here we are. So what I'm going to do is I am going to pass the camera off here and we are going to test some of the sound. So let's see what Pac-Man sounds like. And if I wanted to, I can turn this up here. Let's try 35. So one of the common complaints with this is some games are too quiet, some games are too loud. I kind of wish it was a universal thing where one game sounded just as good as the other, but that's just not the case. With Pac-Man, I had to cut it up a little bit. 25 seems to be a medium that works fairly decent with this system. I do not know how to play Pac-Man. And this is Miss Pac-Man, so I'm gonna play it just a couple more times here just so you can hear the different sounds. Alright, so one of the biggest complaints also about this board is there's no way to exit out of a game if you're tired of the game. It is set up for quarter munching, so once you put your quarters in this thing, it's a done deal. You just pretty much have to lose all of your lives here to be able to exit out and go to the next thing. So that's Pac-Man. Let's do Galaga. Everybody loves Galaga. So see, and you can already tell Galaga is just a little bit louder. So Galaga actually sounds better around 25 or so. And I think for Michael's Marvels, the comic shop that this is going to, I think that finding a happy medium for him and him having control of the remote because kids are going to be playing it, and it's out in a kind of a hallway with some other businesses. So he could also elect to put it on mute or cut it really low. And something I've noticed also, it does have dual speakers, and what was really weird is, I don't know if it picks up on the camera, but when that whole process was happening, it sounded like it was kind of floating back and forth between the two, even though I don't think it's really designed or meant to have that effect. In fact, the last arcade I did came with just one speaker equipped, so trying to capture that ship so it'll make that surround sound again there. But if you can hear whenever that, oh, it does, when the ship gets exploded, it does have a pretty deep rumble to it, which is kind of what I was going for, especially with these bigger speakers that are in the machine than what was stock. So game over. Now I'm going to show you an example. Pac-Man was really quiet compared to the other ones. Galaga seems like it's right in the middle. And let me show you one that is very loud, and that is Gunsmoke, which is a great game and I thoroughly enjoy it, but it is just super loud, and will definitely have to be adjusted. So this is on a decent sound for Galaga, maybe a little too quiet for Pac-Man, but you're going to find out with it, it's going to rattle this machine. I mean, I don't know if it comes across on the film, but you can feel it in the machine. So that is just way too loud and distorted. It doesn't even sound right till about 15, it looks like. So definitely being able to control the sound is a must. So anyway, that is just a quick show of the progress that we've been making on the sound here. I do believe I've got it. It's been level by level gaming, and thank you for watching. If you haven't yet, please subscribe, hit that like button, and comment in the comments. Let me know what you think so I can interact with you.